Greetings everyone, here's Lodrik again, and this is a game War in the Pacific Advanced Edition. This is my PBEM match against Xargun. He is the allied player, and for me it is the Empire of Japan. This is scenario 1 with no modification, standard stock scenario on the game, version 26B, so the classic one. Last turn we saw some, I don't know, was last turn, maybe some engagement with Lexington and my battle cruisers. I achieve only one real direct hit on Lexington with a heavy shell. All others are only surface damage, fire damage, something like this. So I don't expect any major damage on Lexington, but if I'm lucky, the carrier is maybe out of action for 1 or 2 weeks at portside, or even must go back to shipyard at Pearl Harbor or off the map. Good. So no night engagement. I still try to find or hit a destroyer at Christmas Island. Nothing happens. And my carriers are now west of Comac to cover my forces sailing direction Nomaya. And again, I play this game not overly aggressive, so first duty is strategic movement and achieving my strategic goals at the map, taking bases and something like this, cover my forces, not sieging or trying to engage every enemy unit to have maybe morale victories over the enemy, but at the end this will not change their strategic position. Of course, thinking enemy carriers would be a strategic impact in the long run, but yeah, you must be realistic. So, ground bombardments, airstrikes against airfield. Singapore again. I am back to 20,000. The losses are too high, so I also now will not make so much damage. But at least I can make some damage. This unit, I don't know, is walking very slow. This is his defeated base force. I try to damage him as much as possible and slow them also down. But this have really no impact on the war. But I have no real better target. My Navy search is scouting for enemy task forces coming in or out of Rangoon, but there was never a sight of a ship, only maybe the day 1 or day 2, but later. I think Xargun completely plays this game on a land route supply from India to Burma and not via shipping. This is his Blenheims attacking my Thai units. Okay. I still don't really have enough fighter air wings to support my army units completely. They have most units have still nades with low, very short range and not really firepower. And B, many of the pilots are just so. They are better maybe than the allied pilot, but I like to train them and give them an Oscar before I really send them to the frontline duties. here is still some flak, Chinese flak. So these units have supplies. Other units not even trying to shoot back. So there's a Allied ship going down. Don't ask me where or what. Catching this 23rd Chinese Army Group plus Corps. Both are forced to flee again. Now completely destroyed. No any support left. Still bombardment to slow this Allied Chinese Corps. I cannot really attack them. And this is the 7th Army HQ getting destroyed. And destroying HQs, I think, is always good. Simply, they cannot maybe fight, but they give a fighting bonus. Good. In this is siege bombardments of Kukong. I simply consume Chinese supplies and suppress these units that they don't get stronger. Let's say this. And this is a surrender of the Malayan army, I would say. This was the last unit in Malaya. I mean, of course, at this time, Singapore is part of Malaya. So Singapore is still under control of the British forces and empire, but nothing else. And of course, there are 2 or 3 units in the jungles, I don't care. And this is only empty bases. Wusho also fall without a fight. Nice. So again, no big clash, no big fight, only standard bombardments, but I take slowly but steadily more and more of the map over. And so far my armies are not really had a setback. Wenchao was the first strategic maybe defeat of my army. But no disaster, yeah. But also no really glory. Air losses, this time a little higher for Xargun, and if you see this, there's a seagulls on the ground losses, and then there's 3. This is the indication, and plus the sinking sound. So the Penascota, I think it was Penascota. A heavy cruiser of the Allies just sunk this turn with the seagulls on board. Good. So this is a fog of war indication that you can read out of this. And on top of the 3 seagulls, there's also 1 Catalina dead. And 1 more airplane, because these are true numbers, is maybe destroyed by the player or something like this. I don't know. But you can see this only 3 plus 1 is 4, but here are 5. I had 2 flag losses, but 1 killed pilot only. Good, so ship sunk. Yeah, a submarine, I don't know why. I hear no submarine sound sinking. This is a little special. So stalemate still at Wenchao. I see that Xargun tried to retreat, so I will bombard him and lower his or increase his fatigue. My 12th army arriving here to take out this retreating forces. He completely evacuated already Shengshou. so I can take over the base. You can also see that the resources and light industry is already at 50% damage. So this is the start conditions of this city. But I can get still 30, 31. This city is completely intact. I took Wushu, and here is some garrison request. So I think I don't know more. There is the base is a little damaged because I think Xargun walked out and he have also a garrison request for the city, and then he lost victory points. But I don't know. This is the game simply don't. The game says there's a garrison request. If you don't garrison, then they are partisans. I mean, then there are Chinese partisans fighting for Japan, or there are Chinese partisans want independence, whatever you want to see it. So I take over. The most important for me is I take 60 more light industry plus the resources. So the resources produce 60 times 20 resources. The light industry consumed 60 times 15 resources. So there's 300 resources per day will flow to Hong Kong, Canton, or other cities, and I can pick them up and send them to Japan for my heavy industry. But I also produce 60 light industry locally now in Wenzhou. This is nice. Every light or heavy industry matters in the long run, especially in China, because then less shipping to China. Burma, still nothing happened. I am still trying to cross the river. Next turn I will cross the river, and then I have a shock attack because there's a river. There's only one unit left. I don't know if I can catch it. We will see. Nothing really here to see. Malaya is secured. I also took over Johor Bahru, and here you can see there is some damage, not that I repaired. So yeah, a little unluckily to lose this 18, but can happen. But this was the first real defeat. Yeah, and one thing, because here I still don't. I was always how to say. I know this normally, but I forgot it completely. I took over Miri, and most allied players, of course, they were switching off production so that the Japanese don't conquer so much fuel, oil, supplies, whatever. And you can already see that if you move your hold, you can see halted. This oil you cannot hold it, the oil will always come out. But Xargun switched off the production of the refineries, and I forgot to switch this on for some days. So I would always remind, if you play Japan, if you take over heavy industry and refineries, make sure to check if they are really under production, or you waste here resources and fuel. I mean, you only waste them if you have unlimited oil. If you have limited oil, then it's not really wasted, they only delay the production. I prepare for the next strike on Clarkfield. I think we had one battle, so maybe next turn I can attack again. Fatigue is... normally I like the disruption less than 10 and fatigue less than 20. But sometimes you can only like or wish for, but not get it. And last area of activity is here on Nomaya. So you can see that my carriers are covering Nomaya, and more or less I cover here my invasion fleet going for Nomaya. And there is a French garrison, so this is not that I can take the base for free, but it's only a block force, not strong enough to fight with a regiment. And I sent here the Japanese 144th regiment, or brigade, whatever. So roughly 120 attack power. Because this is a triple terrain, so a little tough maybe for only Navy Guard units. No sighting of any other ships, but I mean, not that I have here a Navy search, I have only my carrier more or less to search here. But the rest is ongoing. Port Moresby is secured, Rabaul is secured. I took Tulagi and Luganville. I move over the search airplanes inside to make sure that, I hope at least not I get a surprise, but I missing supplies and fuel. So I must also bring in base forces and more equipment. This needs still time to build up the bases. I only take them over to deny the control that the Allies cannot sneak something in. And Marshall Islands is, I don't really care Marshall Islands too much. It's very sideshow. In Kilroy, I always try to achieve something as the Marshall Islands, but I would say Marshall Islands' main function is to be a shield and early, a block for Truk that you can ship over Saipan, Truk, Rabul, resources and fuel to the source. Good. See you next time. Take care. Bye bye.